All right. Yep. Okay, we are live. Welcome to my first recorded 2 cent, 5 cent cash game. We are going to be playing Zone Poker and recording it and hoping it goes well. But before I do that, I want to go ahead and share my progress, or really lack thereof, that I've had over the past couple of weeks. Um, so this is my graph. Right here, I've played about, looks like 2,300 hands on Zone Poker alone with a big blind per 100 of 14. Couple thoughts on this. I believe that this doesn't necessarily reflect my play. As you can see, it went on a little bit of a downswing um, right before I started playing well. And this downswing was because I was making a lot of plays going off bet sizing and timing tells, and just I was playing very aggressive, and I was being a little bit of a calling station, and I wasn't following the strategy that you've taught me in our multiple Zoom call study sessions. But around I'd say around 1,000 hands, I started changing my approach to the game, and I kind of crushed it ever since a little bit. But yeah, I think that over these past few weeks, my game has improved so much. It's really not even my game. It's just the way I think about poker in general. Um, I think this has been really good for me, and I'm looking forward to completing the 5K hands and going into a more thorough review. Let's see. But yeah, Zone Poker, 2 cent, 5 cent. Only problem I have with Zone Poker is that the time bank isn't very large, so it's hard to give solid analysis of my hands while I'm giving them. Another thing I want to mention is that I believe my strong suits so far are really in post flop play, and my weaknesses are just I think I'm probably a little bit too aggressive pre flop, and I'm not following pre flop charts as I should be. And I'm also a little bit of a calling station lately. I think that, okay, this is just going to be a call. I think that at these stakes, when I'm being presented with information that's obvious, like these guys are going to fold, or these guys are strong, I'm sorry, and I should be folding. I don't know. I feel like there's just a lot of spots where I make pretty pretty bad calls, if that makes sense. I'm not doing a very good job explaining myself, but yeah. So we flopped a gut shot, turned a up and down straight draw. We never want to bet here and get raised and blown off our equity. We played that hand pretty straightforward. I don't think I'm a very good commentator when it comes to playing my live hands, or when it comes to playing hands live, like on recording. I think I get my words jumbled up a lot, and I'm not able to really articulate myself very well. But yeah, just gonna be a fold. Looking to make this around a 30-minute session. All right, let's pick up aces here. Just going to be 3-betting anybody's raise, and we're probably going to be raising around 17 cents to 20 cents. Since he has a bigger stack, we'll make it 20 cents. 4 big blinds. Okay, yeah, we're going to be 3-betting this. Standard 3-betting size is 45, but since we're out of position, I think 55 or 60 works. We'll go ahead and make it 55 because the effective stack's a little smaller. All right, pretty straightforward. After I'm done with 5,000 hands, I think my goal is to be at around 50, I would say 20 big blinds per 100. I definitely think that goal is obtainable. And I do need to study more pre-flop spots. Getting a pretty good price. All right, flop a bluff catcher. That's half pot. It's pretty strong. We'll call. Okay, so a lot of the hands he bet like queens, jacks, tens. It's probably what he has. We do end up rivering a full house here, so we're gonna go ahead and go for value. I don't think he's checking back king x or 4x or aces. So we're really just putting out this bet, trying to target hands like tens, jacks, queens, etc. Which was probably a little too big of a bet, which prompted a fold. So we probably did get him to fold out a larger part of his range. I think a half pot bet would have been better there. But yeah, still end up picking up the pot. I think that had that five not come, we could definitely bluff at that spot with a bigger sizing, probably around 3/4 to a pot. Yeah, pick up a bluff catcher here. Spade draw in overcards, just an easy check back. If he bets here, okay, yeah, just gonna be checking back. If he bets here, it's yeah, that's pretty iffy. This is a bluff catcher. I don't. He could be betting a queen like this. It's I don't know. This is tricky. I don't want to call this, but we're going to. Yeah, ends up having Broadway. I think that's also another part of my game that I feel like is struggling. Like when I say I'm a station, what I mean by that is I think my bluff catching range is probably a little too large. Like I think that there should have been a fold. I think if he bet on the turn, we could have called. But once he has a river pot size, once he bets the river with a pot size, I think nines there is a textbook fold. Yeah, I don't know. It's tricky because a lot of players in 2 cent, 5 cent, when they bet pot or over pot, it's a large amount of the time they're just trying to steal it. It's a tricky thing, but that's okay. Oof. Okay. Yeah. Pretty sure this is just a fold. I know it's a fold. All right. We have, I suppose, not nuts advantage necessarily. Don't know if we're going to be raising with a lot of 9/7s, but we are going to have all these sets and over cards. So we're going to go ahead and set up for a 30, 60, 90. Now, four liner comes out. Yikes. With the four liner, he has a lot of these straight cards, a lot of these two pairs and whatnot. So this might not be a horrible board to check. Even with aces, I'd be checking here. He comes out with a pretty big bet. This is just a spot we're going to want to give up. All right, I'm not going to be defending the 3/4 suited unless we get like three callers, which might be the case. I don't know if we get a caller here and a caller here, it'll be okay to call. All right, and even then, we're getting 5-1. We're going to go ahead and just call this, and easy check fold. Sevens is going to be an open here. Yeah, the nines call is a little embarrassing, but I think it reflects the part of my game that I need to work on. I think I make those calls too frequently. 2-3 suited. We could probably limp this if it gets folded around to us, but probably just folding that either way. Don't think that should be in our small blind range. We're going to be three betting any standard open. If we get three bet, we're probably just flatting. Okay, we have a bluff catcher here. I understand that this is a dry board and that he could have potentially better aces than us. It's unlikely, but it's a possibility. Okay, so I think he probably would have continued barreling here with aces. I think that we could bet for slim value targeting 9x. This might be a mistake. We could be valuing ourselves with some aces in his range, but we end up getting a call. Probably could have. I don't know. I think a third to half pot size is good there because we're really betting for a pretty slim value. Spots like that, not 100% sure what to do, but I don't want to put a lot of money in the pot with a hand that's going to miss a lot of flops and I'm out of position with. We could potentially steal this. This is like the worst hand we're ever going to have here. So I think it's okay if we start bluffing. There's a lot that gets there. Right. I don't know. My thought process is that I don't want to raise pre-flop because of the reason I gave. And it's the worst hand we're ever going to have there. We have 0 showdown value. So I feel like it's somewhat of a mandatory bluff. Oof. Now this is an interesting spot. I think this is an okay call, given that it's a multi-way pot. Interesting. Okay. So we're getting 11-1. We'll call this. It's pretty weak. And now this is an interesting spot. I think he could probably be doing this with some really weak Queen X. A lot of draws out there too. I don't know. This is a super strange spot. Okay. So I think that his bet sizing is pretty weak and we could possibly take the pot away from him if there's another small bet or if he checks, which is exactly what he does. All right, we need to apply a max pressure here if we're going to get him to fold. All right. I mean, if you were to make the bet sizing bigger, it's an easy fold, but I don't know. I feel like that small bet sizing is pretty telling. That's something you're really not going to see a lot of in 1-2 poker. People typically just bet half pot for value the majority of the time, or half pot as a bluff. But yeah, I think that the bet sizing there is, I don't know, pretty simple. He's playing face up is what I'm trying to say. Okay. Oof. Trying to think whether to go for whether I should have gone for a check raise or not. He's gonna have a lot of ace X here with his line. Interesting. Okay, so now we just have a bluff catcher. Oof, this is almost never a bluff. The way he's played this hand is never a bluff. And spots like this, I'll call and be very wrong. So this is just going to be a fold for me. I don't think with his line we're ever good here. I'll call just to kind of prove myself right. But yeah, I think that just spots like that, like I knew that should have been a fold. And it's spots like that that's killing my big blind per 100. Because I understand that that's a bluff catcher, J-Win, I do. But it's just spots like that where I need to be better at folding. Because I knew his line was strong. I was going to fold, but I didn't, just to prove myself right. And that's why my big blind per 100 is not anywhere where it should be. But then again, I fear that like I have a good bluff catcher here, 2 pair. I'm only losing to aces and sets like that, but I know that's most likely what he has. But yeah, like I feel stupid for making that call. I know I shouldn't have. So he could have. There's not a lot of worse Jack X combos he could have. If he triple barrels big here, I'm just, now that I've proved my point to myself, I'm just going to fold. If he checks here, it's an easy check back. Oh my god, okay. I want to call. I'm such a station in these spots. I really am. But I feel like they're never bluffing here. I feel like he just has better Jack X. Okay. Well, he had the two pair that got counterfeited. But my point stands, you know? My point stands. I think that's probably the biggest leak in my game is too much of a station, and I think I make too many pre-flop blunders. Like in 1-2, this is the thing about my play versus 2-cent, 5-cent, and then 1-2. I'm never making the pre-flop blunders or I'm very rarely making the pre-flop blunders or the calling station plays in 1-2 because I just understand like A, that's for a significant amount of money, and B, I understand just from experience that I shouldn't be making those calls. I'm able to be more disciplined because here I lose $2 when there I lose 200. I don't know. It's yeah, it's a different game. Okay, so in spots like these, I'm only going to flop a set 12% of the time, and I'm up against very strong ranges. I don't think I'm actually getting the implied odds there. I might be wrong. That might be a spot I need to go over. But I think when I raise with pocket pairs and they get 3-bet, like the smaller pocket pairs, it should just be a fold. If this is queen 9 suited, I think it would be a snap 3-bet. I'm going to go ahead and 3-bet this now. Not 100% sure if that's correct. But I prefer to, as I was saying that, I prefer to 3-bet smaller raise sizing because it tends to mean weaker hands. Apparently I was wrong there, but it's probably a bad 3-bet. Like plays like that, I think I'm too aggressive. Flop a gut shot. I mean, I guess we can. This is aggressive blind strategy. We don't need to raise here. We can just call and turn a bluff catcher. Okay, he's continuing big here, and after a double barrel, if he checks here, we could probably bet or just check back. These are showdown value, but if he double barrels here, he probably has a king. Just gonna fold. I don't know. We're getting 2-1. We have a number of outs that'll probably make us a better hand, but yeah. It's a little embarrassing recording yourself when you play because when you're not, recording, you just make the plays without thinking or second guessing yourself. But I also do feel like one of my weaknesses lies in small blind, big blind play. I know in a small blind I'm profitable, I think, according to the HUD, but I think in the big blind I'm losing a lot of money. So it's definitely a spot I need to work on. Flop a bluff catcher here. That's pot into me. Yeesh. We'll call one. Pick up a gut shot. Straight. He checks. Is this a spot where I want to start bluffing? Probably not. I don't think he's going to fold ace-x unless another club comes out and I bluff it. But now if he bets, we're just going to fold. If he checks, we have showdown value, but we're probably up against an ace. So this hand's kind of just fucked. Okay. This hand's probably too weak to 3-bet. If it were sevens, I'd probably 3-bet it. I think that's at the bottom of my range. Just gonna check where we are at in the recording. 20 minutes. We'll record for another 10. Just gonna be a fold. Even if he calls, I feel like it's still a fold. We just want to play Jack Queen. Queen Jack off. Out of position, multi-way. I don't know. It's just I think we're behind on most flops where we flop a pair. Or we're not ahead by much. I will fold that. Spots like that, I feel like I'm probably making a huge error. My confidence has been low lately. I've been questioning a lot, but been questioning my plays a lot. I don't know. It's been a weird few weeks for me not playing live poker, and I've been going through a lot of stuff down here that's been like affecting my confidence, and I think that's translating into my play a little bit. I'm just second guessing everything I'm doing. I think I have the answers. I just refuse to use them. In some spots, like in life and in poker, I don't know. I feel like I'm close though. I feel like I'm close to being the best player I've ever been. I feel like I'm close for it to just click. Like I forgot, you taught me the stages of knowledge, like when you know you don't know something and you know that, but you're ready to start working. Like I forgot, it was a cycle you showed me. I feel like I'm moving through that cycle, and I'm about to move to the next stage. If that makes any sense. Okay, so we have nut advantage and range advantage here, so we're going to go ahead and set up a triple barrel. We also have overs that we could hit. I've missed poker though, that's for sure. Flop with left catcher, but if anybody continues here, we're just gonna fold. Like spots like this, I know it's a huge mistake to be calling. If he were to bet, he were to call. Like that's an easy fold. But even if he continues here, it's just multi-way. I think it's an easy fold. All right. So this is a fun spot. He has not a short stack, but he's definitely below 100 big blinds. I feel like 4-bets get overfolded too. A lot. We'll see. Like my exploitative side tells me to just call that because there's going to be a lot of flops where we can get our money in or get more money in. But I can't remember the last time I had a 4-bet called. And every time I'm 4-betting, it's ace 5 suited, ace 6 suited, or aces kings. And they just almost never get called. Like I've always felt like there was something to be said about not 4-betting in 1-2 poker because your hand is almost always very face up, and the opponent's ranges are almost always stronger than ours because we have the suited aces in our range, and they almost always have just aces or ace king, kings, and I don't know. I think 4-betting is just face up at these stakes. Nathan just texted me. How's it going, man? You playing live again? Not yet. Just knocking out all these online hands. I think I need to get my confidence back before I play live again. I don't know. So their stacks are really small here. I think that raising our raising range should definitely be smaller because if we raise and they re-raise, we'll just have to get it in. Or if they limp jam, I don't know. It's a shitty spot. Okay, where am I? We have an open-ended straight draw. I understand that we do not want to get blown off this equity. If we bet and they raise, that is very bad for us. So we're just going to be calling this. And we miss. Check holding. Possibly could have bluffed at that. I don't know. Against short stacks at these stakes, I think that bluffing is pretty dangerous. Okay. Get called by 3 players. This is a bluff catcher, and one I'm not 100% fond of. Interesting. Okay. I don't think a lot of players are making these plays with Queen X. I think he doesn't have Queen X in his range, and I think he doesn't. I think he's the only player that might. A lot of players are just going to be doing this with draws and whatnot, or 9x. That said, if he ramps up if he were to bet half pot here, I'd definitely put him on Queen X. I don't know. My crazy spot says that this could be the part. What am I saying? My crazy side thinks that this could be an area where we go for some value. I don't know. Yeah, could have gotten called by 5s or whatnot. I kind of want to restart this recording. I feel like I haven't done a very good job articulating myself. We'll go ahead and finish it out, though. I gotta say, live commentary is definitely not one of my strong suits as a human being. Okay, this might be a little too loose, but we'll defend. Check fold, he has not range advantage. Okay, I think this is a spot where we could potentially squeeze. All right, gonna set up for a 30, 60, 90 line. Oof, board's getting more wet. This is getting a little bit more dangerous. We do block the nuts though. And we're able to get the fold. And we were going to block the nuts had he called the river, so we were going to put a pretty big bet sizing out. Had he called. Alright. See where we are at in our recording. Okay, we are around 30 minutes. So I say we get one more significant hand in and then call it a session. Call it quits. This is probably an okay spot to both 3-bet or defend. Flop bottom pair. I think it's okay if we call one street. He checks. This is just a bluff catcher. We'll check back. It's a pretty decent card for our range and his, really, but we'll call. If he triple barrels here, or double barrels rather, we're just going to fold. Take the showdown value, and we're good. Okay, that's going to go ahead and do it. Uh, apologize again for my poor commentary skills. I'm sure I made a lot of blunders this game. I'm not feeling very confident in my life, and I definitely think that translates to my game. Um, but then again, I really feel like I've improved. I don't know. It's a weird feeling. It's a feeling. It's a battle of confidence right now. But yeah, looking forward to our next study session, whenever that may be. And I will talk to you later.